everyone. Welcome to Trail Talk. I'm Edie, coming to you live from the classroom studio here at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center. And have we got a great show for you today. Robin Arter, who is the Executive Director of Thinkability, is our special guest. Hello, Robin. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you might notice that Robin is not in the room with me. So she's quarantining, and we are, I love this, don't you, Robin, that there's no quarantine, there's no anything that can keep you from having an opportunity to do the things you need to do, because
Absolutely.
Zoom and all these other platforms that are available now. I mean, I hate COVID, but I am very thankful for all of these things that have spun off of the situation we found ourselves in. So by the magic,
it's all to upgrade, hasn't it?
it has, yeah. And so the magic of technology allows it to be just like Robin and I are in the very same room.
That's right.
Now, viewers, if you remember, last week we had Sheila DiCarlo and Kyle and Ernie, who were also from Thinkability, but they were from the community garden. And Robin, now I want to be sure I say this the right way. The Thinkability is a big kind of umbrella, and the garden is just one part of what Thinkability does.
That's correct.
Okay, so we just got to see just the snapshot of one thing that they do, which has such a great impact on our community. I love all the different aspects of the garden, all the different ways the community is served through Thinkability. But Robin is here today to tell us about all of the other amazing things that Thinkability does. So Robin, first of all, what is Thinkability? I guess maybe kind of in a nutshell, because we'll get to expand on everything.
At Thinkability, we our name kind of says it all. We support people with disabilities, so we think abilities. We focus on people's abilities, not the disability, and identify strengths and build on those strengths. Very, very good. So when people come to Thinkability, is there kind of an assessment that you do then? I mean, you just said you find their strengths and kind of plug them in according to their strengths. What's that assessment like? We contract with the state developmental disability services. So there's an eligibility process that people go through when they apply for support from us. And in that assessment process we do an independent living skills assessment, and that helps identify an individual's strengths and what their needs are. Very good. So what exactly is the history of Thinkability? I mean, how did Thinkability come about? And how long has Thinkability been a thing? Well, Thinkability has been a thing since, I guess, 5 years ago, when Power Shop and Duncan Group Homes, two longstanding agencies in Duncan, merged. Power Shop supported people primarily vocationally, and Duncan Group Homes supported people residentially. We had two very strong boards that were visionaries, and through some discussion and some brainstorming, we've always provided support to the same population of people. So we got together, we decided our mission, we could be bigger, better, stronger if we merged our companies. So Power Shop dissolved, and Duncan Group Homes was a surviving entity. So that federal ID number has been in existence since 1982. Oh, okay. And then because of our merger, we brainstormed and changed our name to Thinkability. So
we've been in existence since '82, but our name Thinkability, people think we're new because the name has just been around for, I think we had our 5-year anniversary recently.
Okay, wow. So, I mean, I've really known about Duncan Group Homes for a long time. Just different reasons to be involved with different things going on with group homes. And then also Power Shop. I can remember, I mean, as far back as when my kids were in elementary school, ordering T-shirts and things like that from the Power Shop. So were you part of one of those organizations prior to the merge?
I came to work at Duncan Group Homes in 1990.
Oh, okay.
So I was part of Duncan Group Homes. As I said, we supported people in group homes, assisted living, and in roommate situations, and in people who you don't have to move out of your family home to get supports from us. So we can go in the family home and provide whatever supports is necessary. But the same people that we supported residentially during the day would go to Power Shop for vocational services. And as you said, it was Power Print, which we kept that name. And we still to this day kept the contract, the 2 litter crew contracts. We pick up litter on state highways for Stevens and Comanche County. And they had an enclave at Halliburton. They're at Sensei. They're really strong vocationally, and as I said, we brought the best of 2 worlds together and really stepped up our game. And now we upgraded our mission to just simply stated, we provide opportunities for people to be successful. So individuals we support, our employees, we want to be a part of everybody's successes and provide those opportunities to be successful.
That I mean, it couldn't be said any better than that. I love that. So is Thinkability just a Duncan organization, or when the merger happened, did it expand, or kind of talk about that?
We support people from Ardmore to Norman residentially. Primarily though, of course, our administrative offices is here in Duncan, and we'll keep it that way. But vocationally, we have the state contract and do janitorial services. We clean the state Capitol building and 18 state office buildings in Oklahoma City. So
wow. And so the people that work in that those cleaning crews for that, are they Oklahoma City residents?
They're Oklahoma City area residents, and we have a separate janitorial office there. But that's not to say we also do janitorial in Duncan. We clean the Stevens County, Love, and what's the other county? Love, and we do 3 county offices here, and have other janitorial jobs that we do in our area.
Wow. Wow, that's impressive. And so was part of the like, did those things happen after Thinkability?
It was after the merger.
5 years ago. So that kind of expansion outside of Duncan happened only about 5 years ago. Is that correct?
We are on our 3rd, 4th year of that big Oklahoma City contract.
Wow, I love that. That is so amazing. But I mean, Sheila was talking last week about how the Duncan Thinkability, it's the state office that was doing courses on, gardening and just different things like that. It's like, how impressive that we have such a hub here to serve people.
It's really to brag. I'm really proud of our team.
This is your time.
I'm really proud of our team. We have a great group of people who are passionate about what we do. We all share in our mission to help make people successful. And we're just fortunate to have the team that we have to make everybody successful, including Thinkability.
Yes, yeah, that as an organization. I mean, I just, I don't know, sometimes you know how easy it is to you just get in your little world, your little tiny Duncan world or whatever, and you don't necessarily think about how far reaching some group like Thinkability could be as far as the state goes. And you know, that's just phenomenal.
The community garden really made people aware of us, and part of that was planned, part of it was just accidental, part of it was good luck, part of it was a lot of hard work.
Right.
But the reason we did, one of our reasons for doing the community garden is so many people we support, we find they're on special diets or eat a lot of processed food. So we wanted to do it first as a lesson to teach the individuals we support where food comes from.
Mhm.
And then it grew into part of another big thing that we try to do every day is be integrated in our community. And it was harder and harder for us to go into the community. So the community garden really brings the community into us.
Mhm.
And just gives people that automatic something they have in common to start visiting about. You met Kyle last week. He has a garden space beside mine, and you know, if I didn't know him and I'd run into him at Walmart and say, "Hey, how's your tomatoes?" and he'd check in on my strawberries, and it's just something that people have in common, and it's really been amazing for us and the people we support. But people don't know, in the same year we opened the community garden, the market, the store next door to the community garden, and an adult day center. So we worked hard for, I guess, 3-4 years ago. In 1 year, opened 3 different programs.
Wow.
And it really, you know, we needed to meet, as I said, the dietary needs of people we support. We needed a place to put people to work in the market. We needed a place to sell the produce that we grew in our community garden. And then as people we support aged vocationally, people wanted to retire but not sit home, still be active, so our adult day center solved that problem too.
Wow, and I mean, how perfect. Did Thinkability always own all of that strip? Or was it just
Actually,
an office?
Power Shop owned that.
Oh, okay.
So
Very
the
good.
Power Shop was there, and that's where they had their offices, and Power Print, and they had their shredding in the building where Adult Day is now. And then that green space, the green space between the 2 buildings was just ideal for the community garden.
How perfect. So if for people who don't know, what exactly is the address? I know we said it last week, but let's say it again.
It's a 2100 block of Beach.
Okay.
So the adult day is 2115, and I think Power Print is 2109.
Okay, so I mean, it's just a little strip. It has 4 distinct storefronts. I guess the community garden being, you know, not a storefront, and then a big parking lot. And if you've driven by there lately, what is that tree out there? What kind of tree is that is loaded with fruit? I drove by there the other day. I thought that tree is going to fall on the ground.
It's apple.
Oh my goodness, it is covered in apples about that big.
I noticed that myself. When we did the landscaping along beach, we wanted to do as much edible as we could. So there are several fruit trees. Of course, we have some crepe myrtles in there to promote Duncan's, you know. And,
Capital plug.
right. And but there were strawberries. There's a lot of interesting things planted along that block of beach.
And the landscaping with the big thinkability
Sign.
sign, I mean, it's really eye-catching and it's very easy to see. So when you're driving by, you should pull in and check things out. And so let's talk about the things that are there. So kind of share with us what does PowerPrint do? Exactly.
Well, PowerPrint,
t-shirts, way more than t-shirts.
way more than t-shirts. Of course, we still have the 6-head vinyl, or not vinyl, the silk screen where we do it the old-fashioned way. We do vinyl CAD cut print, but we just got a machine that we're real excited about. It's a direct to garment printer, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's just like you could print several colors on a piece of paper. It just directly prints on the garment, on the t-shirt or whatever, a backpack, whatever you wanted to print on. That's kind of fun to do. We can do mugs, pins, any promotional items, car tags. We're really limited by our own imagination. We have a manager, John Graham, who's amazing, and Lexi Clark, I believe is her last, Lexi, is our first graphic designer that we've hired. And she just had her first year anniversary, as did John. And they make an amazing team and are very creative. And if you go in with an idea, they'll work with you until you see it in print.
Wow. And so this is a vocational opportunity for some of the people that you serve. That's right?
Yes, we hire 5 to 7 individuals. And it's anytime you want to stop by and visit, it's fine. I didn't know all the steps that go into that silk screening process. Somebody can silk screen, which is tedious. And then it goes through a dryer where it sets. And so then we have somebody that catches it off the dryer and then folds, and then packaging. And the person who packages puts a sticker on it that says where it was from, who it was made by, and they have checked the tag on the t-shirt and write if it's a small, medium, or large. And then another person boxes and counts, keeps inventory.
A regular
Lots of job.
And so that's one whole area that it's a vocational opportunity, but like other money, the other things are, what is that, sublimation? Is that the process?
Yeah, sublimation. It does. It's another. You bring any picture. You can bring us a picture of your grandkid off of your cell phone, and they can sublimate it onto a cell phone cover.
That's cool. Wow.
The direct to garment. The direct to garment printer that we have, it can do 15. We're not limited in the number of colors we can print on a t-shirt, where if we're doing the silk screening, we're limited to 3 or 4 colors that we can do.
Right. But all the money that is generated through PowerPrint goes back into Thinkability, and
it goes back into PowerPrint.
Back into PowerPrint. So it just keeps that rolling along, either through salary or whatever, inventory, that sort of thing.
Right.
Okay.
And if you stop by PowerPrint, we have a storefront there that samples or showcases the kinds of things that they can do there.
Right. So if you're kind of have an idea of something personalized that you'd like made, go check them out. They probably come up with something for you.
They can. They're creative. They're really imaginative.
Oh, that is awesome. So then as you go west from Power Print, then that's the community garden.
Mhm.
And Sheila did a great job explaining everything about that last week. And then on the other side of the community garden is the market.
Mhm.
And the market's inventory has kind of evolved, I would say. Wouldn't you say that?
Yes, absolutely. When we first started, of course, we shop in Duncan. Our money goes into Duncan, all of our employees, and residentially, we support Duncan. So we didn't really want to compete with any of the businesses in Duncan. So we started kind of looking at what we could offer that kind of fill the gap. So we started actually with Amish products. So we have Amish butter, Amish cheeses, Amish sausages. And then we just kind of grew from that. Of course, we showcased what PowerPrint does as well. Then we started growing from that. Originally, we did refurbished furniture.
Yes.
Yeah, we asked for donations, and back behind PowerPrint was a big workshop, and that's where we would refurbish, reimagine furniture and sell it in that storefront. Well, we had more fun in the store ordering things and selling things, and so we just started to try to be creative about what we could offer here in Duncan, and still keep a good part of it from Oklahoma. We get our yogurt, Amelia yogurt from Wetumpka or Waleep up there somewhere. And of course, the Amish products are from Oklahoma. There's just all kinds of things now. You can go in and you can get all the nostalgia kind of things, like the soda in the glass soda bottles that with the
told us about that last week. I think that was one of his favorite things.
Yeah, my husband loves the old grape knee-high sodas. But there's a soda there that has that flavor. So, and we have cream soda and all these neat flavors. And but then we also, in keeping with wanting to provide things that the individuals we support could buy, we have a huge keto-friendly, gluten-free. There's a whole part of that's pickled items. Real popular is the lemon stuffed olives. We have just now you can go in there and it's like a little grocery store, and there's a little bit of furniture left in the very back that we still, if somebody donates something to us, of course, we turn it over back into our program. So if someone we support can't use that piece of furniture or something, then we resell it in our store.
And let me tell you, I was in the market just not very long ago, and you talk about gift items. If you don't have something like you want specialized, they have the cutest things and such a selection. I mean, I just couldn't believe how many different and just really cute things, not aside from all the cool food items. I mean, lemon stuffed olives.
Yeah. But we just got in a bunch of toys for kids. That was just tons of fun to look at. I see what's ordered and what's coming in, and I go into the market every day and I'm like, where'd this come from? What is this? Oh, I need this. So we jump
and little tea towels, hats, gardening hats, or floppy brim hat. I mean, all sorts of things. Oh,
there's some wind chimes. There's bird baths. There's just all kinds of things that if you went in weekly, I think you'd find something different each visit.
every time. Yeah. So, I mean, the market is fantastic. And I know that there are a few of the people who work, a few of the Thinkability clients that are able to work in there. But it's another place where the money, it goes right back into the market because the things that you sell help support all of that.
Right.
And then I think isn't that where I used the word hub earlier, but this is completely the produce hub.
It is a hub, and we're one of 3 hubs in Oklahoma. It is where the farmers market, if you've been to the farmers market, you see that it attendance is kind of dwindling, and vendors, there's one weekend there's 5 or 6 vendors, and the next weekend there's Thinkability and one other vendor.
Yeah.
So the hub, we contracted with the Department of Agriculture to sell produce from local farmers that they can just bring it in. And we may have 6 different bins of tomatoes, and it may be 6 different farmers. So we can.
They don't have to wait for your farmer's market to have their produce available for sell.
They don't have to wait till Friday. They don't have to set up a roadside stand. I know that those requirements changed, limiting some of those. And they don't have to sit with it, although they're welcome to. We have some farmers who enjoy that interaction with their customers. So a farmer may come, you may go in at any time, and the farmer that grew it is putting their produce out in the stand, and you can sit and visit with them. And I don't know a farmer yet that's not real good at bending your ear.
Right. So. That's half the fun of the farmer's market.
It is.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
It's good with all.
And we also we wrote a grant and got approved for the Double Up program. I think Sheila may have touched on it some last week, but if you spend your food stamps or your SNAP dollars there, then we can double it.
Oh, I don't remember her saying that last week. That's
so you come into the market and you buy produce, then you earn. If you spend $5 on produce, you earn $5. Of course, it still has to be spent on food,
right.
But we have that Double Up grant.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's an opportunity for people. Goodness. So so just on the west side of the market then is the adult daycare, and just kind of tell us about that. I know families who have adult children who are still living with them, they're able to go to work or, do things like that because there's a place for their adult child to stay. So just kind of talk about
and for their adult child, or people that we support who have hit 62, or that their team agrees that they're not their vocational interest isn't there, they'd rather come in and socialize. They stay active. They do arts and crafts, of course, which everybody loves, but then they have nail day and they enjoy going out on drives. Again, I'm very proud of our adult day employees being creative in the world of COVID, being creative about keeping everybody active and not just sitting in house. Mm-hmm. So it's just a real active. I enjoy taking my break and going over to the adult day.
I've been in there. I mean, it's all smiles, and people are just, they're engaged. They're doing so many different things all at the same time. It's not like everybody's in one group doing the same thing. A lot of different things going on at the same time. And it's just a really great atmosphere to watch.
Right now at the adult day, we're limited in funding to people with an intellectual disability, but someday we'd like to have the contract with the Department of Aging. So if I wanted to take my mother, who might have moved in with me, so that I could still work, but my mother still go socialize, we'd like to be able to serve that population as well. We still are in that, trying to win that contract, not win it, but just acquire that contract.
It would
so that
feel
we can
like a
serve
win. if you
I
got-
know.
Well, that's I mean, another great, I love that you guys are not just satisfied. You know, you're always looking for a new opportunity, a new way to grow, more people to serve. And that's another thing I really love about Thinkability.
I think Sheila touched on, did she talk about the roses at Valentine's Day?
Yes, and the poinsettias.
At Christmas. People love those jobs, going out to deliver, and the people who are receiving the delivery love to visit with our guys who are coming in to deliver their flower from their sweetheart. It's kind of fun.
That is just such a great thing. And I mean, we're kind of in the middle right now, but in November is when the poinsettia
started in November, and we have a Facebook page, Thinkability Community Garden, Thinkability Power Print, Thinkability The Market, and Thinkability. So we have 4 Facebook pages. We got it all covered, but almost everything is on Thinkability, just Thinkability Inc. And then we share out. We had Congressman Tom Cole visit yesterday. He came to our adult day and met with our Duncan People First chapter. We have a very strong chapter. It's called People First. There's the state Oklahoma People First, and then there's local chapters. We're proud of our local chapter, Duncan People First. And what that is, it's a group of self-advocates that they have a social once a month and then a true meeting once a month. They elect a president, a vice president, all their officers. They have a business meeting and fundraisers. And they usually have a speaker that teaches people to be better self-advocates, how to stand up for yourself, how to speak up for yourself, or your neighbor, or with a real strong People First group. And that's not limited to the people we support. Anybody, if you're on the waiting list and still look for that social outlet for your adult child with a disability, they should come to the People First chapter.
So how would they find out information about that?
Call our office. It's 252-8000.
Okay, we'll put that information, that contact information in the comments section of this Facebook post. So Robin, how many people does Thinkability serve?
We serve 109 people, I think, at last count, and we employ 132 people. That's not including Oklahoma City janitorial.
Okay, that does not include the Oklahoma City.
That does not include Oklahoma City janitorial. And they're at about between 80 and 90.
Wow.
Employees. Yeah.
So the two numbers you said, 109.
109 people that we support, people with an intellectual disability. And intellectual disability is an IQ of 70 or less. And because we contract with the Developmental Disability Services, that disability had to be diagnosed in the developmental years, which is from birth through age 21. That's the population we support.
Okay. And then the 130, is that crossover a little bit? Some of the 100?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Okay. So wow, what a huge number of people from the Duncan area. So you mentioned the different housing or residential, that was the word you used, I believe, the different kinds of residential areas. Does Thinkability own the group homes still and other residential areas in town?
We do. We own 2 group homes, 1 male, 1 female home. And then we have 2 assisted living apartment complexes. They're small, 1 12-unit at 2nd and Spruce. And then there's the 20 units at 21st and Beach, which is right across the street from PowerPrint.
Just
Yeah,
across.
that's our assisted living. And then we have, it's called daily living support, where 3 people live as roommates, which gets kind of complicated, but daily living support unit is 8 hours. So 3 people with 8 hours, they share staff, so they have 24-hour staffing for 3 people. And we have 12 of those situations, including Norman and Ardmore.
Oh, okay. Wow. So I mean, so much, so many things that and as the executive director, I mean, are you responsible for kind of overseeing all of these things that we've talked about?
It's myself and an operations director. Excuse me. And that's something I'm really proud of too, is we keep our overhead small. We want everything to go back into our program, support the people that work for us, and that we support either in any of our programs. So we have myself, an operations director, of course, accounts receivable, accounts payable, an HR assistant, and then program coordinators who we have 6 program coordinators. So
Wow.
for our size, we have a relatively small overhead.
Yeah, you do, which means a lot of people do a lot of work.
A lot of hats, yeah.
Yes, for sure. But it sounds
Which we get those hats at PowerPrint.
yeah, you do. Now you also, because you're a 501c3, you have a board.
We do. We have 9 members on our board of directors now.
Okay, and so that board, what are ways that the community could support Thinkability besides the obvious of, participating, shopping and buying things, that's the community garden.
Volunteer if you have a special talent, something that you'd like to teach in our adult day. You could certainly go in there and lead in arts and craft or songs or poems or whatever they enjoy there. If you have a green thumb, or even if you don't have a green thumb but you just enjoy gardening and want to learn more, the best way is to volunteer and work with Sheila and her crew in the garden. Donations, clothes, furniture, etc. And we don't have an opening on our board of directors now, but we're always looking. If you have an interest, call me and say, I have this interest and this much time, right, and we can fill it.
You guys, I mean, that's what you do all day. You right. Find out what someone has to offer, right, and you plug them in at that right at that level. So that's perfect. Do you have a big fundraiser that you do?
We don't. And
I guess you kind of have ongoing ways of.
It is ongoing. The executive director before me, Joanne Petty, she always wanted, the way she raised me up was to not to go to our community with a handout, but how can we enhance and support our community? And that's just how we've operated. That said, we're still a nonprofit, and you can tell from our financials that we're nonprofit. So just we need to look at that, at how we can fundraise better. So we need something else to do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So do you have like I mean, you mentioned kind of expanding the adult day center. Is there any other like really big dream thing that you have for Thinkability?
You know, we haven't had time since opening Olive Beach, with the exception of Power Print. We haven't had an annual sit down and let's just breathe and keep all of our cell phones off and have that uninterrupted time to just brainstorm about what we can do.
Well, you guys, it seems like you're constantly evolving anyway, you know, you open the market, but the market has changed. You started the garden, added the farmer's market, and just, you know, everything changes and grows. You just got this new printer at the print shop. You know, it's not like you ever stopped dreaming. And so I think that's one reason Thinkability is relevant now.
Yeah. No. And that's usually, it's like, hey, we need an adult day. Okay, let's do it. Let's just dive in. We've got a great board of directors that supports us and trust that we know what the individuals we support need. We keep an open door with the families that we support, and if any family member came in and said, you know, we need this, then we'd do anything we could to help them realize their dreams.
Well, I just feel like Thinkability is a win-win situation. Win for you guys and everything that you do, the people that you support, and the community. We win because of all the things that Thinkability offers to the community at large. And right. I just want to say, I mean, how much I appreciate you and all the work that Thinkability is doing. It's a
true team process. We all work as hard as the person in the cubicle next to us. And
I think you hit a home run on team members. I think.
I did.
That is awesome.
Our office is at 13th and Main, 1301 West Main.
Okay.
Stop by there. As I said, our door's always open. Well, now with COVID, you can't say that as much anymore. Sure. But call 252-8000, and we'd love to hear your ideas or what you need. Or it's more complicated than it should be to be approved for services, and I'm happy to walk families through that process. So if you have a loved one with an intellectual disability, or that's, you know, getting ready to graduate in high school and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what are they going to do? Well, there is a waiting list. So it's really, it's never too early to start planning for life after school.
Right. That's great wisdom. Good information for people. And I'm sure viewers, if you're not directly affected or have a family member who has an intellectual developmental disability, I bet you know someone, and they're just point them in this direction, you know, but point them to Thinkability, and we'll put your address on there too, Robin. Thank you so much for being such a great guest on Trail Talk. I just really, I'm so glad that this information is out there for anybody to be able to watch and learn all about Thinkability.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for having me. I enjoy your Trail Talks, and I'm proud to be a guest.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That's great. Well, so you know how we sign off then, right?
Oh no, I didn't know there was going to be a test.
We're just going to say happy trails together.
Oh, of course I knew that.
Okay, well then I think it's time. We'll see you guys next week. Happy
Thank you.
trails.
Happy trails. Thank